What's up, everybody? Knolly Williams here. I'm super excited to be back with you once again. And we are talking about a topic that is near and dear to all of our heart. It certainly has become a big topic over the last couple of years, and that is healthcare. That's right, eXp, baby. eXp has healthcare for how many? Almost 70,000 agents are entitled to this, and it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And we've got the fantastic Margo Wickersham here to explain to us everything about eXp. She's excited. She's ready. But before we do that, I want to quickly share a story, Margo, um, of something that happened just this past week. Okay, so I got well, actually, a couple of months ago, an independent broker that owns an independent brokerage reached out to me, and she said, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you about eXp." So we got to talking and everything. And it turns out that she went ahead and joined eXp. She joined under me. She just joined this past week, brought 20 agents with her. She's got a group of 20 agents. And her whole journey, Margo, her whole journey began when she wanted to provide healthcare for her agents. And so she started doing some YouTube, and like we all do, right? We go to YouTube and we try to figure out, okay, how can we figure out this problem? So she did a lot of YouTube, and she finally came on the fact that, duh, eXp's already got it. And so that led her to bring her entire brokerage to eXp. The catalyst was the healthcare. Then when she found out about everything else we do, it was game over and game on. So with that, Margo, I know you're changing a lot of people's lives with this healthcare that we're, and by the way, no other brokerage can do this because most of them are franchises. I mean, name an independent brokerage that has 70,000 agents. There's not one, right? So with that, thank you so much, Margo, for joining us today. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm awesome. I'm
Are you
awesome today.
excited?
I'm super excited. Look, even my hair is excited. Woohoo. I don't know what
Yeah,
it's.
this is an unusual, yeah, it's an unusual but a special presentation because typically we're talking about a lot of different topics, but we're really going to let you take the floor and have as much time as you feel like you need. There's going to be questions that are asked and so on. And with that, I'm definitely going to mute myself unless you need me. Um,
Okay.
Came here to see me, they're here to see you. So take it away, Margo. Thank you so much for what you do for us.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. I was just telling Nolly I have the best job in the world. I love helping agents with their own lives as well as grow their businesses. This is just so much fun for me. And I just made a note about that success story about the broker agent. So we're going to do a video is what we're going to do, Nolly. That's amazing. So how many of you guys, we got 18 or so folks in here. Let me know in the chat what you know, if anything, about eXp Agent Healthcare. Helps me get a read on where we are exactly. And saying nothing at all is okay, both as an answer and not replying. I prefer that you reply, but it's okay if you don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a screen and I have a presentation. And meanwhile, Nolly's just letting people in one by one. So not much. Okay, that's great. So I'm gonna fix that here in just a minute. So let's go screen share. Let's go here. And then we do that. And then we go to slideshow and we get a prettier experience. There we go. All right. So since we don't know how much you know exactly about healthcare, you got so many things that you need to know. eXp just continues to bring it with value to agents and attractors, and it is a blast to work with eXp. I'm SVP of Strategic Partnerships at Clearwater, and I am focused 100% on eXp, and it is quite a ride so far. It's about to get even better. So whatever you've heard, there's already so many good things that are happening. You just heard Knolly share with you that eXp Healthcare was the catalyst to get the conversation started. And that is the key, because once the conversation starts, you got it, right? There's so many different amazing values that eXp offers to agents and brokers that it's a no-brainer once you get that conversation started. And I'm going to give you a conversation starter a sentence that you can use to get a conversation started here in a little bit, but you have to stick with us. It's not going to be right here. First, I got to give you a little bit more of an overview about the plans. So let's do that. How do I make it go forward? There we go. So we've got 3 goals that we're here to help you with. We want to help save money on your monthly cost. That's the premium. They have gone up, 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 up. Sky, I mean, they are bigger than mortgages for some people, and that is crazy. So if you were at eXpCon, you might have seen Matt Battiata get a little award, and he wanted to dedicate it to eXp Agent Healthcare, but I think there were some mic audio problems. He came by the booth afterwards on Friday, actually, right like 10 till 4. We were almost ready to pack things up. And he did a little impromptu video that I'll share with you guys. And he talks about what it's meant to him. He's saving $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year. It's a massive amount of money. So even if he's already successful, what does that give him? Extra money to pour back into his business. So he had a really great year, and he wanted to dedicate his award to eXp Agent Healthcare, which is mighty kind of him. So being able to free up money and resources, and also peace of mind, is a huge thing that we love helping people with. So we do want to help save on the monthly costs. We also want to upgrade access to doctors. We're seeing plans just continue to shrink, and they get more expensive. They provide less. The network is narrower. So we want to reverse that. The third thing we want to do is something you might not think about all that much, and that is we want to reduce the risk of out-of-pocket expenses. I'm going to pause right here and share with you a data point. And that is that 66% of bankruptcies in this country caused by medical bills. That surprised literally nobody, because healthcare has gotten so expensive. But the next data point might surprise you. 60% of those had health insurance. So that means that you're paying a lot for health insurance, and a lot of times it's not even doing the job for you. So we want to reduce that risk. It is mostly due to out-of-pocket expenses from out of network, out of or balance. So it's called surprise billing and balance billing, and both of those sound pretty neutral, but they're terrible. So for example, you go to have a knee surgery, you make sure that your knee surgeon is in network, you make sure the surgeon center is in network. No one says, hey, do you want to pick an anesthesiologist in network? They don't ask you that. And then you end up with an anesthesiology bill of $3,000 or $4,000, which, by the way, does not count against your deductible or your max out of pocket. So there's all these things that are put you at risk of major out-of-pocket expenses. That's when things get really carried away, and we want to reduce that as well. How do we do it? Well, we have a wide variety of plans because it turns out we're unique, and no one size fits all. It would be great if that were the case, but it doesn't work that way. So we have a suite of tools in our toolbox. We have a set of plans that we call the Clearwater plans. We put them together. They have the maximum savings on the monthly amounts. So that's where Matt Battiata is saving 24. I cannot promise that you could save $24,000 a month. If you're paying $3,000 like he was, then maybe we can. The average savings, I have a slide for that in a minute, is more like $8,000 a year, which is still pretty good. So these sets of plans have the greatest monthly savings, as well as the broadest network, as well as the lowest risk of out-of-pocket expenses, mostly due to out-of-network issues. And then we've got another category of plans, just traditional health insurance plans. So these are Blue Cross, Cigna, Aetna, the regular plans, and they vary state by state. Right. So California and New York are both pretty special and have their own very specific, intricate sets of laws around health insurance. And our team of consultants are licensed in all 50 states. So we can help navigate which plans make the most sense for agents, because it's really confusing, really confusing. Whenever I ask people, how would you describe shopping for health insurance? Not one person's ever said, awesome, fun, great. They always say torture, miserable, nightmare, confusing, overwhelming. And so we take the pain of doing that off of you guys, and we make it available we're subject matter experts in this stuff. So just use us, leverage us. Doesn't cost you a thing to use us. And I'll give you an example of how we helped a couple in Colorado. And now Colorado also has some interesting specific laws, and they do not allow out of state. We're not based in Colorado. We don't have an address there. Of course, like you, we're virtual anyway, but we're not allowed to help people enroll in healthcare plans that aren't the Clearwater solution in, pardon me, in Colorado. But do you think that stopped us from helping that couple find the best plan? No, it did not. So this couple said, we're paying $1,600 a month and we have to drive right past all of these providers in this hospital to go to this other weird network. And our consultant said, wait a minute, I think I can find you something better than that. And while the couple was looking at the same website as our consultant was looking at, our consultants know a lot more about this stuff. Like you guys know a lot more about real estate than we do. We're not going to go list our houses by ourselves. We know there's way more that goes on and we need a pro helping us. So our consultant found a less expensive plan that had the network they wanted. They're saving $700 a month, $700 a month by looking at a different plan on the same exchange, because that's the way the plans are. They're very confusing. So we've got that bucket of plans available to you, which vary by state. And then we have a category of plans, supplemental plans. These are, think of these as a la carte. You can add dental, you can add vision, you can add both, you can add neither. We have life insurance, accident and critical illness are plans like Aflac where they pay you a lump sum if one of those things happen. It's not very expensive and I recommend you get a quote for it. Just consider it. And then there's disability and Medicare supplements. By the way, if you are 65 or older, no one can compete with Medicare, so no one does. And that's why we have Medicare supplements. So we help you up through the age of 64 with one of these other plans. And then at 65, we can help you with Medicare supplements. So that gives you kind of the breadth of range of options that we have in our toolkit to work with you guys. Now I want to share with you our level of expertise and how we work with you. So we've got lots of resources. We have expAgentHealthcare.com. That's your dedicated website. And let's see, I can type that into the chat. There's a chat, or Knolly can, one of us can. eXp Agent Health. I gotta spell it right though. Health.
I can take care of all that, Margo. You just focus on the presentation. I got you.
Rolling then. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So then we've got all of these licensed consultants. They're amazing. And they are licensed in all 50 states, and they can have a personal and private conversation with you. They can help you determine what's the best route for you to take. They know all the ins and the outs of the plans. And they also are very empathetic and low key. This is not a high pressure selling environment at all. We are a service-led organization. So our goal, if you can remember back at the beginning, I said to lower your monthly expenses, to increase access to doctors and reduce your out-of-pocket risk. We want to do all of those things for you, whether we enroll you or not. Why? Because we care about the overall relationship. It's in our best interest to look out for your best interests. And we know the Net Promoter Score is the key metric for eXp. So we're here to make it better by delivering the best service that we can, which we're always improving. So all 50 states licensed, but sometimes people want to look at information themselves first. So we have that website. They can go and look at plan information. They can register for a webinar. They can watch videos of other agents sharing their stories of enrolling in healthcare through eXp. So we have all of these resources we make available to you. And then we also have support for after you enroll. We have teams of people who are there to help you get answers. You know, maybe your cards don't show up in the mail. What do you do about that? Maybe you make great decisions and choices on your healthcare, and then you forget what those decisions are. I mean, that's happened to me. And you're like, I know I made a good decision. I'm pretty sure of that. I just don't remember what it was. So there you have a go-to resource for getting started if you have a need. You're not sure where to turn. So that's what it looks like today. And that is about to get a whole lot better. You may be curious, what percentage of agents choose which kind of plans? Because I just shared with you, there's this broad array. Well, about 85% of eXp agents choose a Clearwater solution. And about 10% of agents choose a traditional healthcare solution. So this is typically people who are in the middle of managing a fairly expensive healthcare treatment, or maybe they've got a pre-existing condition that requires ongoing treatment. So we're here to help figure out which plans make the most sense for you. We're agnostic on which plan is best. We work for you, the agent, and your agents to help find what that solution is. And that means that occasionally we run into people who are actually already on the best plan, and we will say, we recommend you stay right there because that's the best plan for you. There's nobody who can do better. So you can trust that that is how we handle these consultations. We love helping. So what's the big announcement? Well, as of January 1st, I'm so excited about this. As of January 1st, anybody who's enrolled already on a Clearwater plan or enrolls in one as of January 1st has a completely open network anywhere in the country. I cannot believe this. I do not know of another plan that does it this way. We've been working on this for 2 years. And now what that means is no more going to a website to look for doctors, only to find out that when you call to verify, they no longer participate in the network, and all of that. Such a common problem across all networks, all plans. And this means because doctors are, they're deciding to participate in fewer and fewer networks. And some of them are going to cash pay anyway, which is great because that's how our plans work. So they love our plans better. They don't have all of this. It's an average of 6 months for a doctor's office to get a claim paid. 6 months. You can see what a business problem this is for them. And this is much faster, and they get more money out of it. So they love it. Everybody wins. So that is announcement number 1 is open network, no more issues. There have been occasional pockets, like for example, oddly, Waco, Texas, which has 300,000 people, it's not tiny, has only a couple of doctors that are in the network. Well, that won't be a problem as of January 1st. You can go to any doctor that you want to, which is amazing. The second big announcement is that we're taking concierge service to a whole nother level. So what this means is if you're like me and you made a great decision about your insurance plan and then you don't remember what you're supposed to do next, you just have one step. And that step is call the concierge service. There's going to be one number on the back of your card, not 3. And you just call and say, I need to get a kid in for an annual exam and immunizations. I just moved here. I don't know who to go to. They will help find one. They'll even get them on the phone for you and help make an appointment. Woo! I need concierge everything in my life. I don't know about you. So that's amazing. And if you forget, what's your one step? Call the concierge team. And they will help you with whatever the next step is. Now, if you are having an emergency, you just go to the ER. If it's life-threatening, you go to the ER. That's already that's already an open network. So the hospitalization, surgery, procedure, expensive part of the Clearwater plans are already open network. It doesn't matter where you go, anywhere in the world. If you're skiing in the Alps, true story, true eXp agent story, and you break a leg, no worries, you get your treatment there. You don't have out-of-pocket expenses not covered because you are not in the States. So this is an amazing addition to the service. And then
that's super amazing. That's super amazing because I like to travel. And one of my big concerns has always been, hey, what if something happens to me while I'm out here? I've been on Blue Cross, and they don't cover when you're out of the country.
They don't cover when you're out of their region. There's 32 companies of Blue Cross in the US. I'll tell you about, we have a consultant who lives in, where do they play the Masters? What is that town in Georgia? Somebody knows.
We got some Georgia people on
I know. Where do they play the Masters tournament, the golf tournament?
Margo, it's in Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia. I knew it began with a name like it's not Athens. Augusta, Georgia. She lives in Augusta, Georgia, and but she lives kind of outside of Augusta. And the nearest hospitals to her are across the state line in South Carolina. Can she go to them on a Blue Cross plan? No, she cannot. It's ridiculous. So this eliminates all those problems, not only for across state lines in the US for plans that are mostly limited and regional, but also international travel. So yeah, lifts a big heavy worry off of shoulders. So the agent attraction toolkit, well, so what's happened is we have learned, kind of like Knolly just explained, kind of by accident, that we knew that healthcare was the second biggest concern that agents have behind compensation. And in fact, it impacts compensation. We didn't know it was getting more and more of a problem, more and more of an issue. And this has become a major strategy for attracting agents. And we backed into it. We didn't know this was going to be as strong of an attraction strategy. So we've developed a toolkit for you that is available to you to use to start the conversation. And I'll share with you some more about that in a minute. I did want to share with you, here's what various experiences can cost, healthcare things can cost. So a bladder cancer treatment, the reason why we know this number is because this is about me. I am on one of the plans, one of the Clearwater plans. I was before I joined Clearwater, and we left my husband's good teacher insurance, retired teacher insurance. It was good until it wasn't. And we switched over 4 years ago. And in March of 2020, I got a cancer diagnosis. Boo, that is no fun. But it was stage 1, and I was here in Austin, Texas, and my doctor was highly regarded, and I trusted him. You know, he had a good reputation. But our plans include a second opinion service. So I got the second opinion, and I decided if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to the best I know of that I can get to, and that was MD Anderson. I'm in Austin. That's 3 hours away in Houston. And they said, yeah, we don't know who your doctor is in Austin, but he missed a second diagnosis. There's a second form of cancer, and that kind of cancer is not going to respond to the treatment that he was going to do for you. And if we don't do everything, he said, throw the kitchen sink at it. I guess he understood my level of medical term knowledge base. He said, if we don't throw everything at it, you will not be here in 12 months. So I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have, I can't believe I say that, and that is my truth, but apparently it is my truth. So I'm grateful for every day. And this was also while COVID was starting up. So you can just imagine how fun that was, because all of my treatments were solo. No one could come into the hospital with me. It was horrible. But I've got this wild hair growing back because I had the chemo, I had the surgery, and I am cancer free. Woo! Cancer free and alive. I know. Because I have the right plan, because I got a second opinion, and I went to the best doctors that are out there, and nobody was sitting in a cubicle saying, oh no, you can't go to that doctor. No, we're not going to do that treatment. So I can't say enough good. So here's some other examples of surgeries and dislocated shoulders and different things. This is out of pocket, what it's going to cost if you don't have any insurance. And that's with the self-pay discount. It goes up really fast. So typically the savings are on average, it's not $24,000. The average is $8,000 a year, which is halfway to the cap. So you can help have this conversation with people who are looking to join by saying, we don't know what your quote could be, but why don't you get one and find out? That's something that's available to you. You can have agents you're talking to visit the website and book a call and get a quote. I need to change this because as of January 1st, there's no longer a PPO. It's just open network. So it's even better. And that means, woohoo, that the 80% out-of-pocket reduction in risk actually goes, well, that would go to 100%, wouldn't it? Because there's no out-of-pocket risk because you have no network issues. And that's where all of the almost all the problems come from. So all good news. So what do we know? We know healthcare is a big pain in everybody's neck. We know it's a big concern. We know it's the second biggest thing they're worried about besides compensation, and they hate shopping for it. Who likes shopping for insurance? Nobody. So here's the important data for you to know about what the landscape looks like out there for how much do people care about this. So about a third of agents in the US are on some form of major medical. So typically these are from the exchange. These are the expensive plans, because if you don't have access to an employer plan, you don't have access to anything good because of the way it's set up in this country. About another third are on either their spouse or partner's plans, or they are working part-time. I know of people working at Costco and various other jobs just for the benefits, and that is just not right. And then, or their spouses. Sometimes a spouse is hanging on to a dead-end job just for benefits. And you hear all the time eXp agents saying, I retired my spouse. Well, you can do it even faster when you've got healthcare that's built in. This is also key for people looking to change careers. And I know there are policemen who want to change careers. And one of the biggest concerns they have, of course, is giving up the benefits. Well, you have an option that might not be as expensive as you think, and it might make making that transition sooner more possible. And then about a third are completely uninsured. And in this day and age, with all of this COVID business, that is a bad idea. That's the GoFundMe plan. It's not a great plan. So we really want people to get something. And we do have options that are right size for where you are in life. If you just really need something in case something terrible happens and you're not worried about paying for doctor visits, annual exams, the plan options are there for you. So there's that information. And then I wanted to share with you, I think I already, did I share this with you? 2/3 of bankruptcies are caused by medical bills. I don't know if I said that already. Your presentation.
Yeah, we talked about that, but some of these other stats I haven't seen.
Right. So back to a second opinion, 50+% of procedures and surgeries are either out of date or unnecessary. Well, who wants one of those? Who wants an unnecessary or out of date procedure? Absolutely no one. Yeah, thumbs down. That's a bad risk to our physical health as well as our financial health. And then I got this verified by my own oncologist. 70% of cancer diagnoses are wrong, or the treatment regimen is wrong. So you want to see a second opinion, no matter what, whatever plan you're on. If you get a diagnosis or the recommendation to have a procedure, go get a second opinion. Really important. And that's built into the Clearwater plans. So the suffering is real. And these plans give you another opportunity for helping change lives by providing even better service, removing stress, providing hundreds of plan options, savings, up to $8,000 or more a year. And it's like giving them a raise. So on top of all the other amazing eXp goodies and benefits and, revenue share, all the things, there's so many different things, technology, all of that, you've got this. So now this reduces personal stress to a great big, it really makes a big impact. You get this improved access to care. And now that's even better because we have no limits, no network limits at all as of January 1. Okay, so if you're thinking, okay, it sounds pretty great, I should probably book a call, and you should absolutely do that. We're in open enrollment right now. If you haven't already gotten a quote, then I would recommend that you do that. If you've gotten a quote and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, or you've got questions, then I would recommend you get back with the consultant and see what we can do to help you out. So I've got one question I'm going to share with you that you can use to get the conversation started. By the way, you can book a call on the website that we already put in the chat. You can book a call, you can register for a webinar, you can look at plan information, you can get a quote using, there's a little quote tool, little applet on there. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get some more information for yourself, as well as just to understand what agents have available to them. And this is a website you can share with brokers you're talking to, as well as agents you're talking to, so that they can see. We have so many stories of people who say that was the icing on the cake that made the decision a full no-brainer. So here's what you can ask to get the conversation started. You can say, if there was a way you could save hundreds or thousands of dollars on a health insurance plan and get better care, would you want to learn more? It's such an easy question to ask. And what it gives you is another way to start the conversation. Now, is everybody going to be super excited about health insurance? Probably not, but you saw the numbers. in each of those three categories, there are lots of people who do care about this. So it helps you flush out if this is something that is of a top concern to them, because if they say no, then you know that is not going to be the conversation starter with them. What I've heard influencers share with me is they love having another way to start the conversation besides talking about the eXp model, especially maybe for people who have been approached before or have a preconceived idea or what have you. It gives you something else. It's another door into the conversation. And of course, once you get into the conversation, you're golden. You do your magic and you talk about all the other great, amazing benefits and resources available. And now you have that no-brainer. So I'm going to pause right there. I've thrown a lot of information at you. Does anyone have any questions right now?
Margo, before we get into questions, I just want to share, Jason Guessing talked about the whole concept of the fact that eXp doesn't make a dollar, not even a dime, for bringing this healthcare to our agents. We don't make any money out of this, and it's not a money-making concept at all. And so the question was, well, why are we doing it? I mean, obviously we care about, but there are people in the back of their mind, they're like, why are you really doing this? And when you talked about the NPI score, and he talked about that, I never realized that just makes sense. The whole goal of eXp is to make our agents happy, because we know that if we have happy agents, they're going to stay. They're not going to leave. They're going to tell their friends about us, and we're going to grow as a company. So it just makes good sense for us to do everything within our power to provide every service we can for our agents. Just makes sense.
No, that's a really good point, Knolly. And what I love is how this company eXp walks the walk and just never rests at finding new ways to enhance life for agents. There was somebody with a raised hand. Was it Claudia? There she is. Okay.
Hi. Hi, Margo,
Hi.
and thanks, Knolly, for setting this up, and Margo for being here.
Thank you.
So I am not a doctor goer. However, I love alternative healing methods, and I don't actually need much care, because I take care of myself. And if I have something, then I'd rather, go to an acupuncturist or something, or get Reiki. And so I would love to know if there are plans like that would cover something like this.
I know that the plans do include some alternative treatments like that. I know that acupuncture and massage and some other things. That's the depth of my knowledge about it right there. So I would need to do some more research for you. But one piece of advice, if you're not already doing this, is to negotiate for self-pay rates with any providers. You guys can do that with anything, even dentists. Just know that everything is negotiable now, and that using insurance and claims and those whole processes are expensive for doctors, physicians, and providers. So when you bypass that and you offer to pay them on the spot, they like that better, and you almost always get a discount. It's almost always 30% or less. But I can check into that, Claudia, for more information.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's really good, what Claudia brought up, because that pretty much describes my wife and I. I've never, thank God, I've never been sick or had to go to the hospital for anything major. And but I got my health insurance when I was 20. I think I got married when I was 23. We got our health insurance when I was 25, because I wanted the peace of mind. I'm 51 now, so I've been insured for 26 years. Even though I haven't really had to use it, I wanted the peace of mind of knowing that I wasn't going to go bankrupt just because one claim will wipe out my entire company, and I didn't want that to happen. So, so I still do all the alternative stuff. I mean, I got a massage on the books right now. I do a 2-hour massage. I don't play around.
Right. Yeah.
And I do all the other alternative stuff, but I still have my health care in case, because I like to be out there. I like to travel. I don't live too dangerously, but I like to get out there a little bit.
I'm totally with you. And I myself take care as well. And the cancer diagnosis really threw me because I make the lifestyle choices to avoid that. It doesn't run in my family. I kind of thought I had a deal, thought I had a contract with cancer. I'll do my part over here. You stay over there. I don't smoke, none of the things. So it really threw me for a loop. And then I was faced with, do I try alternative care or do I do these radical things they're talking about? I didn't have 12 months to play.
Yeah.
I didn't. And I know of people who have with the kind of cancer I had. And if you wait, it's too late. And so you want to have those options available to you. Whatever you decide to do with your life, you want to have options. So in my case, it worked out great that I had options for all this treatment, and here I am to live and tell about it. But I will get you some more answers besides that. I know there are some. There is some coverage for alternative healing, so I will get some more information about that and get back to you.
Awesome. Yeah. And
Margo's,
it's not
oh,
not
go ahead.
necessarily only for, just treatment instead of or something. It's just nice to, to preventative, so to speak,
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and thank you so much, Claudia. Appreciate you being here too. So Stacy had a question. She says, how soon after you sign up for Clearwater will coverage begin? I have health insurance currently, and I wish to cancel it and begin coverage with Clearwater. I don't want to have a gray area with no coverage. Help.
Help.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's see. I'll make it a little game here. So I'll give you multiple choice. Do you think that eXp Agent Healthcare is available to an agent who joins 30 days after they join, 60 days after they join, or day one? You guys put in the chat and let me know what you think. I'll wait. Got a new message. She's saying, okay, day one. Mark says day one. Jody says day one. Nolly's guessing 30. Yeah, no, an eXp. Exactly. It's day one, people. Day one. Day one. That's so eXp, isn't it? Yeah. You don't have to hit a production number. You don't need to be there for a certain amount of time. No siree.
So will Clearwater cancel our current plan, or do we need to do that still?
You will need to do that.
Okay.
You will need to do that. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I have a question.
Sure.
Since I've been in real estate and building up insurances is pretty costly, and having come from plans where corporate America covers it, or either working with a municipality, and you have some great healthcare. Self-employed healthcare is challenging and expensive. And so as I've been working to build up my income, I have been able to tap into healthcare.gov and utilize some of the advanced premium credits. Does Clearwater have any similar opportunities, or how does that work? What will be the kind of like the minimum we might start off with in making monthly premium payments?
Right. That's a really good question, Kimberly. And because the team of consultants is licensed in all 50 states, they can help you navigate which is going to be your best option given what you have available to you. And for example, in May of this year, the Biden administration issued some special pricing. I think the best way to describe it is recovery discounting, because it's not a subsidy. Whereas the discount pricing, income-based pricing is kind of a subsidy. And if you start making more money, you have to pay it back. So there's different things that are always happening that we stay on top of to help figure out, okay, what's the best way for you to go? And in California, it's a whole nother thing because you have Covered California, whatever that is. So that said, that I know that the least expensive plans start out at like $280 for a person, depending on your age.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else got questions?
I would say too, Margo, that if anyone is on the healthcare.gov package, we should still go through the due diligence, right? Of
Absolutely.
talking to one of the people here at Clearwater, because they're I mean, I've gone through that, and I really don't know what to pick. It's almost like roulette. Like, which plan do I pick? Just pick one, whatever. And
Mhm.
it sounds like you guys will help us, even if we're not a good fit
Right.
for what the packages you have. So that sounds
Yeah.
good.
That's right. And it varies by state. Some states won't let us help you get enrolled. And they won't pay us anything. It costs you not one red cent either way, but we'll still help. And we love doing that. Like I said, with the Colorado couple, I did share that example, didn't I? Colorado
Which one?
couple. They were
I,
they were on a plan in Colorado that was expensive, and they had to drive past a bunch of doctors and hospitals to get to the network for they hated it. And Colorado is one of those states that doesn't allow us to help, but we can go to the same website and we know how to look at all of that information, the data, either what's co-insurance, what's a co-payment, how's that different, what's max out of pocket. It's confusing. And we're subject matter experts, so we can go in there and kind of whip around and know how to get to the essence more quickly. And so we found a better plan on the exchange, the same thing they were looking at, that included, because we know how to do this, that included the network they wanted, and it saved them $700 a month.
wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
that service is available in all the states, and we're happy to help.
So I've got another question here from Stacy. She says, what is the vetting application like?
Oh, that is a good question. So we like to have a private conversation and understand what's going on with you and your household, whoever's going to be on the plan. Because, pardon me, because the Clearwater plans aren't the best fit for everybody. And it depends on what your state is, what other plans will be. So we'll get very creative. And one of the things we'll do is, let's say it's a family of 5 and your spouse has some healthcare issues they're dealing with, and you and the kids don't. So we will look at, it might make the most sense to put just your spouse on a healthcare.gov plan or a traditional major medical plan and put you and the kids on Clearwater. So we'll get strategic about what's the best way to get you the most for the least amount of money. So that's what the vetting process looks like. And if you have, let's say you had a stroke last year, well, stroke related treatment is going to be limited in that first year on Clearwater plans. So that's probably not going to be a good fit for you. We don't want you to be exposed to additional expenses for treatment of something that, I mean, maybe nothing else happens. That's what we hope, but we don't want to put you in the position of worrying about it. So we'll help you solve the whole big picture problem.
That's neat. Now, Mark is asking, do we have presentation slides for agent attraction or flyers?
Let me show you. Yeah, we stopped. So here's the agent attraction toolkit. It's just a list of things, and I have not dropped the link to that in here. Here's a couple.
You're not sharing right now, so you'll have to reshare.
Oh,
yeah,
Sharing is caring, Knolly. Sharing is caring.
I kicked her off the sharing because we wanted to see her pretty face.
It's starting a bunch of videos that are very loud. All right, let's see. Okay, where is the?
Now, while Margo's doing that, I just want to say, for those of you that are here, you've kind of heard the presentation. There's more to come. She's gonna be sharing, answering questions basically. But if you've got to take off, if you got to leave, that's good. We've already given you the website to go to so that you can begin the conversation with an expert there at Clearwater, and just start the conversation. These are, for me, I got to tell you, Margo, these are kind of hard conversations to start because I don't want to talk about it, even though I'm super healthy, never had any medical issues, never had a surgery or anything like that. But I just don't like talking about that kind of stuff. It's not sexy. It's not fun.
No, it is not sexy or fun. It isn't. And
but you've made it easier for us. Thank you.
Yeah, you just ask that one question and you go, and you don't have to have the answers.
Right.
Start the conversation and you say, look, there's all these resources. Here's what the eXp Agent Healthcare team does for you. You have access to get a quote. They'll help you figure out which plans make the most sense. And if by chance you're on a plan through a spouse or what have you, and that's the best one, they'll just confirm that. And then you have peace of mind that you are on the right plan and it costs you nothing. So that's all you need to know. And I wanted to make sure that I clarify that no other nationwide brokerage has access to this plan. We have an exclusivity agreement with eXp. There's a handful of little regionals that were customers before we met eXp, like JPAR. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They have like 3,000 agents. And a handful of others, but we do not talk to Keller Williams, Compass, Real, Realogy, Remax, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway. So this is a competitive advantage that you have. eXp.
All the way.
All the way. I just put a really long URL in there. That is to the Agent Attraction Toolkit, because my short, cute URL is not working for some reason. So, but that's a direct one, and you'll have access to the flyers, the social media posts. They're all turnkey. You can just download them and use them. Brand them if you want to. Don't. You can't. I've heard of attractors just posting that one sentence I put in there. If you could save hundreds or thousands and get better care, would you want to learn more? In their Facebook pages or social media posts, and get inquiries, because people do not expect this to be available for anyone in real estate. So it's a competitive advantage that is as great, I think, as so many of the other advantages of being an eXp agent. Looking at some of these cute baby pictures, oh my gosh.
Hey, Margo, I got a quick question for you. So I'm guessing that the reason we can do this at eXp is because we're one brokerage with so many agents versus if a lot of the franchises try to do it, they're independently owned and operated, and they've got to get buy-in from every single independent outfit, if you will. Is that correct? Am I correct? So would this be similar to a company like a major corporation that has 70,000 employees?
That is an amazing question, and it would not be. Surprisingly, what we've done is we've cracked the code on how to deliver group health level plans for individuals, essentially by creating a minimum group size of one. You don't want to know how this whole sausage is made, but we did find a way to structure it. And this is how we're delivering such great value without having to have employees, because the minute you start treating 1099s like employees, guess what the IRS does? They say, oh, you're treating them like employees. Those are W-2s. Give us some money.
Oh, gotcha. The friendly IRS. They're our friends. Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
That's okay.
Okay. So are there any other questions that you guys have? Obviously, any question that we do have, we can go to the website and then we can schedule an appointment, which is probably the best thing to do for all of us, just to know, like Mark Phillips, he always says, know what you're saying no to.
That's really good.
At least no, just get educated at least.
Right. Right.
But if there's no other questions, if anyone does have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask it. Otherwise, we're out of here.
Well, I hope I've made it as fun and interesting as is humanly possible. It is a tough topic, and we make it easy. I heard somebody talking. You are welcome to talk.
Oh, somebody competing with us here? No.
Yeah.
No, we're everybody, they're muted.
Okay, they're all muted.
Yeah.
So what I keep hearing is this was easy. When they talked to one of the consultants, it was easy. It was pleasant. Like I think it's almost like we're used to being in an abusive relationship with health insurance.
Yeah.
So if they're nice to us, we kind of don't know what to do. But we are trying to make it less painful and much more pleasant. So I could name names you'd recognize of influencers who are enrolling. Some did last night. And one of the great things about going through the process yourself is that then you know what that experience is like when you talk to another agent that you're looking to attract. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to say that one of the things we've seen is that, especially if you're talking to groups, this is a major retention play for them. It's a strength for helping convince people to come over, stay with the group, and make the switch over to eXp, as well as for attracting and bringing people over. So I wanted to share that with you. And if you are talking to a group and you'd like to bring one of me or my team over to a call, happy to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. And I love that you guys will look at what we currently have and then just give us a comparison, apples to apples. I mean, that's just beautiful.
Mhm.
Can't go wrong with that. Well, Margo, we appreciate your time. It means a lot to us. You know, one thing I wanted to share is that we, as of this recording, we have 253 mentorship masters all around the world. We're in 25 states. We're in Canada. We're also in India, and we're opening up in South Africa. So way to go, mentorship masters. And
Way to go.
we appreciate you, Margo, being here to have a private conversation with us. And thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks to all of you guys for being here. I see a lot of thank yous. And if you guys want to unmute yourself, say thank you to Margo.
Thank you, Margo.
Thank you, Margo.
Thank you, Margo. Thank
My
you, Knolly, for
pleasure.
bringing this to
Thank you,
us.
Margo.
You are so welcome. You can find me on Workplace if you have any other questions. And I wish you guys the rest of the week to be beautiful and that you have a lovely Thanksgiving if you are in the States. If you're in Canada, you've already had your Thanksgiving. But have a great rest of the holidays, everyone.
You too.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye.